Okay, so we were covering the chapter of istinja, how to, or the methodology of cleansing after using the washroom. So the previous week we went over the sunnah practices of istinja, that in those days, because there was no such thing as tissue paper, they would use stones, and this was due to scarcity of water. Where there was water, they would use water. We also covered that it is more virtuous that stones and water are used together. And if a person suffices with stones, that's fine. If a person suffices with water, that too is fine. So far as the number of stones that are concerned, that is not the objective. The objective is to clean oneself. That is the objective. So it is not an emphasized sunnah to use a certain number of stones. Right? So it could be 1 stone, 2 stones, 3 stones, doesn't matter. The objective is cleanliness. Right? So nowadays that would be analogous to using tissue paper. So if by using 1 tissue paper, cleanliness is achieved, that's fine. That's good. If one needs to use multiple tissue papers, that too, it's fine. There's no specified number. Yes, 3 is mandub, it's mustahab, it's virtuous if one practices using 3, that's fine. But it's not something that is wajib. Okay, and even then, it's always better to use water, because water is it's more cleansing than something that wipes. وكيفية الاستنجاء. So the second, the chapter we're covering today is the method of istinja. So I'm going to make a disclaimer over here. The disclaimer is that they're mentioning the method of istinja, right? And this is based on their own observance, right, as to how they would do istinja. But the objective of istinja is there is no certain way as long as cleanliness is achieved, right? لا حاجة إلى التقييد بكيفية, right? There's no haja, there's no need so far as specifying a specific methodology of how one should attain cleanliness after using the washroom. وَالْمَقْصُودَ الْإِنْقَاء. The maqsood and the objective is inqa, that one should achieve cleanliness. فَيَخْتَارْ مَا هُوَ الْأَبْلَغُ وَالْأَسْلَمُ عَنْ زِيَادَةِ التَّلْوِيثِ. So the person, he is going to adopt that which is fulfilling and that which is the most prudent, so that najasa and impurity, it doesn't spread throughout the area after using the facilities, after using the washroom. So that's the disclaimer. Having said that, this is the methodology that is mentioned in the book. أن يمسح بالحجر الأول من جهة المقدم إلى خلف، وبالثاني من خلف إلى قدام، وبالثالث من قدام إلى خلف إذا كانت الخصية مدلاة، وإن كانت غير مدلاة يبتدئ من خلف إلى قدام. Okay. So it's saying over here that so it's speaking about the male. If the genitalia of the male is loose, right? It is loose, it is stretched, then the procedure of istinja is that one is to wipe with the first stone from the front part, right, near the genitalia, and go to the rear, and with the second stone from the rear to the front, and with the third from the front to the rear. Right? This is the methodology that the author is explaining. وَإِنْ كَانَتْ غَيْرْ مُدَلَّاتْ يَبْتَدِي مِنْ خَلْفٍ إِلَى قُدَّامٍ. If, however, the genitalia is not hanging loosely, then one is to begin from the rear to the front. Right? because in this kind of situation, cleaning can be achieved to the highest level. Okay. Then it's speaking about the woman. Right? وَالْمَرْأَةَ تَبْتَدِيُ مِنْ قُدَّامٍ إِلَى خَلْفٍ خَشْيَةَ تَلْوِيثِ فَرْجِهَا. So the female is to begin from the front to the rear, and this is so that her genitalia, they don't become soiled. Right? Then the scholar is saying, then the author is saying, ثم يغسل يده أولا بالماء ثم يغسل أولا يده بالماء ثم يدلك المحل بالماء بباطن إصبعين أو ثلاث إن احتاج ويساعد الرجل إصبعه الوسطى على غيرها في ابتداء الاستنجاء ثم يساعد بنصره ولا يقتصر إلى إصبع واحدة والمرأة تساعد بنصرها وأوسط أصابعها معا ابتداء خشية حصول اللذة. So after wiping, the male is to wash the hand. Right? He's going to wash the hand, because if the male touches the impure area while the hand is dry, then it's possible that the najasa, it might go into the skin and it might get worse. Right? So it's always better to wash the hand so it doesn't stick. After that, wipe the soiled area, wipe the impure area with water using the insides, the batin. This is the batin al-kaf. Basically, the way we do istinja, 2 fingers or 3, because this is what is required to achieve optimum cleanliness. Then it's saying, وَيُسَعِدُ الرَّجُلْ إِصْبَعُهُ الْوُسْطَى. The male is to raise the middle finger over the other fingers at the beginning of istinja, and after that, raise the ring finger, because again, cleanliness is achieved better in this manner. And the male is not to restrict using 1 finger. So istinja cannot be done with 1 finger. It is not enough, because one cannot achieve complete cleanliness using 1 finger. One should use 2, 3 fingers so that istinja becomes complete. وَالْمَرْأَةِ. So as for the female, she is going to raise her ring finger with her middle finger at the same time, right? During the istinja. Okay, so this is for the female. Al-mubalagha fi at-tanzif. Now it's speaking about how one can achieve cleanliness, right? In a manner which is in a manner where a person goes above and beyond. So يبالغ المستنجي في التنظيف حتى يقطع الرائحة الكريهة وفي إرخاء المقعدة إن لم يكن صائما. So the author is saying that one is to perform his best in cleanliness, right, until any odor is gone, and that person's derriere, the posterior, is relaxed, right? Because when the posterior is relaxed, then maximum cleanliness can be achieved. And also, وَفِي إِرْخَاءِ الْمَقَدِ إِن لَمْ يَكُنْ صَائِمًا, right? This isn't the case when he is not fasting, right? When he is not fasting. If he is fasting, then there's a possibility that water can go through that passage and reach the stomach, right? And because of that, fast might be broken, right? So one should be careful when doing istinja in the month of Ramadan. فإذا فرغ غسل يده ثانيا ونشف مقعدته قبل القيام وإن كان صائما. So once he has completed, then he should wash his hands a second time, ونشف مقعدته, and then he should wipe his posterior before getting up, إن كان صائما, if that person is in the state of fasting. So this completes the chapter of Mubalagha fi Tanzif, that going above and beyond when it comes to cleaning the posterior after using the washroom. We'll stop over here and continue next week, inshallah. Any questions?
Sheikh, one question about the cleanliness of a place.
Yes.
Inshallah, we covered.
Yeah, that's coming. Cleanliness of a place is coming. Everything is coming. So it pretty much goes in sequence and in order. And yeah, that's
Just
how.
one question.
Yes, Tom.
Like, let's suppose you don't have any, like you go to the bathroom and you just maybe have you have to urinate, but you don't have any najas on the posterior part.
Then
Still,
that's
you have to do the
no. It's just this is specifically when a person has to, this is excrement. It's speaking about excrement and defecation. It's not speaking about urine. So urine, when a person goes to the bathroom for urination, then it's a simple matter of just washing the genitalia, the front of the genitalia. Yeah. So the scrotum, that does not need to be washed.
Is there any difference between drying yourself after using the bathroom in istinja, or that's the same thing?
Yeah.
I understood it, but not over here.
Right.
Like if someone goes to a restroom, he gonna dry himself
Yes.
and then istinja with water.
Yes.
But the way I think you're saying, like even if you dry yourself,
So the drying would take place after istinja.
huh?
The drying would take place after the istinja. Is that the
No,
question?
before, no. The drying takes place after you use the bathroom.
Yes.
So that's istinja, that's right?
Yes. Yeah. So I'm sorry. What is the question?
The way I understood it, not over here, but before, like if someone uses a bathroom, he has to dry himself first. With
Okay.
stone or with clay.
Sure.
Or
Yes.
with, in
Yes.
today's word, with
Sure.
tissue paper,
Uh-huh,
or toilet paper.
Uh-huh.
And then he gonna do the istinja. which
That
is-
that whole process is istinja.
So even the initial drying,
Yes.
that's istinja.
Yeah. That is all part of istinja.
Okay, because
That is
over
all part of
here,
attaining cleanliness.
especially if someone is at workplace, you really cannot wash.
Yes.
You can dry.
Yes. Yeah.
So that should be good enough.
That's good. That's fine. But even now, people they have special what is it called on Amazon? They have special. It's called lota, where you can. It's like a water bag that operates as a the typical Pakistani lota that you would see or
You mean the
in our
one
countries.
that shoots water? The
Yeah.
one that's being installed in-
No, not a bidet.
it folds.
It folds.
Yeah, it
Yes.
folds like a,
So I've seen many
but
Muslims.
in the end, it is just like
Yeah.
like a ring.
Yes, exactly. So it's a very small thing, but one can attain cleanliness. Fill it up with water, and it operates like a lota,
And another
like a
thing
watering can.
that he said if the water during this job goes inside the body.
Yes. So
that-
this is during fasting.
yeah,
one
that
should be
breaks
careful.
the fast.
That breaks the fast.
So what that is doing with fasting, I thought the fast gonna break if you try to.
So anything which
Fasting,
basically
or
leads
water,
to the
whatever.
anything where there's a possibility. So in fasting, you have what we call orifice of consequence.
Mhm.
Orifice of consequence. So orifice of consequence, when it comes in the context of fasting, anything that can go to the brain, or is a passageway to the brain or the stomach, right? Passageway to the brain or the stomach. That would be considered an orifice of consequence, which means that if something goes in, like for example, if a person's tympanic membrane is perforated and you put drops, eardrops,
Yeah.
so that goes inside,
Mhm.
right? So that would break the fast. That would break the fast. Same thing if a person does istinja, right? There's a possibility that water, that little bit of water, might, if a person is relaxed, there's a possibility that water might go into the passageway and find its way to the stomach. So it's an orifice of consequence. So this is why, while a person is fasting, one cannot use suppositories, things like that. Yeah.
A wet tissue.
Yes.
Would it suffice for food?
Yeah, absolutely. That's awla.
So that's instead of water, you can use.
Yeah, wet tissue is fine. Yeah. A wet tissue, but tariq awla, because it's wet and it's more ablagh and aslam and cleanliness. Yeah, it would be. Yeah. That's what I think they use now.
Because once it touches the najasa, it becomes najasa.
Yeah. So you would probably use it once and then use another side and so on and so forth, similar to tissue. I mean, nowadays, as I mentioned last week, nowadays the problem in those days, the food was not rich. It was not oily. We eat very oily foods, so the composition is going to be different. When we use the restroom, the composition is going to be much different. So it's very difficult to attain like purity because the nature of the defecation has changed. As opposed to people in the past. I think there's a hadith, Sheikh Muhammad, Antum tuba'iruna ba'ram? No. What is the hadith? Tusallituna faltan wa tuba'iruna ba'ran. There's a hadith. It's mawquf narration.
Thank you.